Human history is a story of creation and destruction, with alliances at its core. From ancient tribes to modern treaties, we've always believed in strength in numbers. But alliances, meant for security, have often triggered chaos. In early 20th century Europe, a web of treaties turned a single assassination into a world war. Promises made for peace became the engines of unprecedented destruction. Millions died in trenches, victims of a system that guaranteed war instead of preventing it. After World War I, the League of Nations tried and failed to prevent another catastrophe. World War II followed, with even clearer alliances, Axis versus Allies. The devastation was global, cities leveled, civilians targeted, and the world forever changed. The end of that war brought peace, but also a new kind of fear, the nuclear age. The ghosts of these wars still haunt us, warning that alliances can be both shield and sword. Our need for security can lead us to the brink of annihilation. Today, as powerful blocs rise again, we must ask, have we learned from history, or are we repeating it? The story of global conflict is the story of alliances, how they can protect or destroy. As we look at the world in 2025, divided and tense, the echoes of the past grow louder. Will we heed their warning or let history repeat itself? The answer may decide our future. The atomic bombs of 1945 changed war forever. Humanity gained the power to end itself, ushering in the nuclear shadow. The Cold War was defined by mutually assured destruction. If one side launched, both would be annihilated. This grim logic kept the peace, forcing caution and restraint. The Cuban Missile Crisis brought us to the brink, but diplomacy prevailed. Nuclear weapons became the ultimate deterrent, too terrible to use. Today, 9 nations possess them, and the threat of proliferation remains. In any future world war, the nuclear question overshadows all else. Would leaders risk pressing the red button if defeat loomed? With so many nuclear powers, could MAD still hold? A total war between major powers is not winnable, only survivable, if at all. The existence of these weapons means victory is an illusion. In a nuclear world, survival is uncertain, and winning is impossible. The game has no winners, only survivors. Today's world is shaped by powerful alliances, but the lines are blurrier than ever. NATO, forged after World War II, remains a military giant. An attack on one is an attack on all. Opposing it is BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, united by economic and political interests. BRICS isn't a military alliance, but it challenges Western dominance, building its own institutions and influence. The Quad, US, Japan, Australia, India, adds another layer, focused on the Indo-Pacific and countering China. These blocs compete, cooperate, and maneuver for advantage in a complex global dance. In a global conflict, alliances would define the sides: NATO's technology versus BRICS' population and resources. Unaligned nations would become crucial, turning the world into a strategic chessboard. The outcome would depend on which bloc could endure the pressures of total war. Military power, economic strength, and global influence would all be tested. The next world war wouldn't be nation versus nation, but network versus network. The balance of power is shifting, and the stakes have never been higher. In this new great game, alliances are both shield and weapon. The question isn't just who fights, but who can last. The world's future may hinge on these shifting alliances. The battlefield now includes the digital realm, instant, invisible, and everywhere. Cyber warfare targets power grids, communications, and financial systems, crippling nations without a single shot. Small teams of hackers can inflict massive damage, leveling the playing field between nations. We've seen attacks on nuclear programs, hospitals, and pipelines, proof of our vulnerability. In a future war, the first strike may be a line of code, not a missile. Information warfare is just as dangerous. Propaganda and disinformation can divide societies from within. Social media becomes a weapon, eroding trust and destabilizing democracies. The digital front is the new high ground. Control it, and you control the narrative and the war. Victory may go to the nation with the most resilient infrastructure and the sharpest cyber tools. Tanks and jets mean little if your power is out and your people are in chaos. The digital battlefield is decisive, and the war for information is relentless. In World War III, bites may be as deadly as bullets. The side that dominates cyberspace could win before the first shot is fired. The future of war is wired and wide open. Modern war is fought as much with money as with missiles. Economic warfare. sanctions, trade restrictions, and financial blockades can cripple a nation without firing a shot. Sanctions have pressured countries over nuclear programs and aggression, but in a global war, they'd escalate dramatically. Imagine NATO and BRICS severing all economic ties, oil, food, and technology weaponized overnight. Global supply chains built for efficiency would shatter, halting factories and emptying shelves. Economic collapse could follow, affecting every side. The ability to produce food, energy, and weapons at home would become a matter of survival. Victory would depend on economic resilience. Who can endure the most pain and adapt the fastest? Control over critical resources, like rare earth minerals, would be decisive. Economic warfare is a double-edged sword. Those imposing sanctions suffer too. The richest nation may not win, but the one that can outlast the storm might. In a world war, endurance is as important as firepower. The battle for economic survival could decide the outcome. War is no longer just on the battlefield. It's in the bank, the factory, and the marketplace. The side that weathers the economic storm may be the last one standing. Major powers rarely fight each other directly, they use proxies. Proxy wars let them compete, test weapons, and drain rivals without risking all-out war. The Cold War's battles in Korea, Vietnam, and Afghanistan were proxy wars, as are today's conflicts in Syria and Yemen. These wars devastate local populations, but let great powers pursue their goals with less risk. In a new world war, proxy conflicts would multiply: insurgents, separatists, and private armies fighting in the shadows. This gray zone blurs the line between war and peace, making it hard to know who's really in control. Winning isn't about capturing capitals, but manipulating the global chessboard. It's about bleeding your opponent's resources and gaining strategic ground without direct confrontation. The most skilled at managing proxies and covert operations would gain a crucial edge. Indirect war complicates victory. Success is measured in influence, not territory. The unseen battles are as important as those in the open. In World War III, the art of indirect war could tip the scales. The side that masters the shadows may shape the outcome. The real war may be fought by armies we never see. The future of war is being shaped by AI, drones, and space weapons. Artificial intelligence is revolutionizing military strategy from logistics to autonomous combat. AI-powered drones and vehicles can identify and attack targets without human input. Swarms of drones could overwhelm defenses, changing the face of battle. Recent conflicts have shown drones outmatching traditional hardware. The nation that masters AI-driven warfare could render old military power obsolete. Space is becoming the new high ground. Satellites control communication, navigation, and surveillance. Anti-satellite weapons threaten to blind militaries before a shot is fired. The risk of weaponizing space raises new dangers, debris escalation, and uncontrollable consequences. Giving machines the power to decide life and death poses profound ethical questions. The winner of future wars may have the smartest algorithms and the strongest position in space. We're entering an era where technology, not manpower, decides victory. The rules are unwritten and the risks are unknown. The next war may be fought by machines and won in orbit. After all this, who would win World War III? The truth: no one. In a world of nuclear weapons, cyber attacks, and autonomous drones, victory is meaningless. The destruction would be total. Cities gone, economies collapsed, the environment ruined. Survivors would inherit a broken world, not a prize. This grim reality is also our hope. Knowing war is unwinnable forces us to seek peace. Deterrence, diplomacy, and cooperation are our best defenses. The real challenge is building a global system based on shared survival, not rivalry. We face common threats: climate change, pandemics, economic instability that demand unity. Our future depends on choosing cooperation over conflict. The path to war is real, but so is the path to peace. We can build walls, or we can build bridges. The answer to who would win World War III is a warning, not a prediction. The choice is ours. Repeat history's mistakes or finally learn from them. The greatest victory is avoiding the war altogether. Let's hope we choose wisely.